Hattie in the attic. My name is Hattie Magruder, and I am special. At least, that's what my grandma Nancy says. I spent 2 weeks with her this summer. I didn't want to go, but by the time I got back, I was scared at height. On the last day I was there, I found a hat in my grandma's attic. It was a magical hat. I'm not making this up. It really was magical. When I got back, I told my friends Sybil and Sarah what had happened, but they said I was lying. Well, I wasn't, and they're liars and fibbers and the tellers of untruth. I have proof that the hat was magical. The proof is in my diary. Special note, I'm not going to let you read the attic that better wrote a love note to Sarah, even though she is a liar and fibbers and tellers of untruths. Sarah would be so embarrassed if anyone knew Eric and writing a love note. Even she doesn't deserve that. Diary Day 14. Sarah, Sybil, and I had our summer all planned, but Mom, who probably has never had a summer vacation, told me tonight that I had to go to Grandma Nancy's for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. It might as well be 2 years. The whole summer will be gone. Sarah and Sybil will be married and have kids by the time I get back. Don't want to go. Mom, who probably was never had a summer vacation, just came in and told me to go to sleep. Big day tomorrow, sweetie, she croaked. Yeah, right. I'll write longer later. Diary Day 28, a lot later. I'm back. All right, so I forgot my diary. I forgot to pack my toothbrush too. The 2 weeks went pretty fast. The last night before I flew summer, Grandma Nancy cooked a special dinner, and I set the table. My grandpa died when I was 3, but Grandma Nancy always set a place for him. I don't remember Grandpa very well, but he loved horses and had a horse of his very own. He loved wearing a leather chaps and his cowboy hat. Grandma said he took me for a ride on his horse once. I kind of remember that, but not very well. After dinner, we went into the living room, and both of us read a book. Grandma Nancy fell asleep after only 2 pages of her book. I must have fallen asleep too, because I woke up with my nose smashed on page 34, the very same page, where this brainless girl is so scared that she pulls the covers over her head, like that's going to save her. Grandma Nancy was sound asleep in her chairs. So I started prowling around. Grandma called this getting into mischief. I call it prowling around. That's when I went up into the attic. In all the time that I had been to Grandma's house, I never went up to the attic. I guess that I thought the door was just a closet. I climbed up the stairs. It was really spooky, just like the book I was reading, but I wasn't scared. Not at all. The attic was empty except for an old sweat-stained cowboy hat, just lying there in the middle of the floor. I don't know why I did it, but I put on the hat. Now, this is the hard-to-believe part. But suddenly, I wasn't in the attic anymore. I was standing in the middle of a grassy meadow. I heard the pounding of a horse's hooves and turned around. Up rode a man on a horse with a red bandana tied around his neck. His hair was blown back, and he had a big smile on his face. The horse was so beautiful. It was gold-colored and had a golden mane and tail. It ran with its head up high and its tail snapping in the wind. The man rode right up to me and skipped to a stop. The horse shuffled its hooves like it wanted to run some more. The man looked down at me, and as if it was possible. His smile seemed to grow even brighter. "Hi," he said. "You must be Hattie. You sure have grown." I didn't say anything. My heart was in my mouth. The man laughed, not a mean laugh, but a loud, happy laugh. That made me feel good. "You know," he said, "I sure could use your hat." With that, he reached down and grabbed it. "This smell will do just fine," he said, as he put it on. "Tell you what, I'll treat you." He pulled a bandana off his neck, reached down, and tied it around my neck. "It isn't much," he said, "but when you wear it, you'll never forget me." He spun his horse, ready to ride away, but he stopped. Then he reached into his skirt pocket and pulled out the picture. "Giving this to your grandma. Tell her. There's a note on the back." He squeezed his legs and the horse leaped into a gallop. Just like that, he was gone. And just like that, I woke up sitting on the couch with my book floated over in my lap. My grandma woke up with a start. She looked over at me, smiling, and when her eyes got really big, "Where did you get the bandana?" she asked. I reached up and grabbed the end of the grand bandana that was tied around my neck. It was then that I realized that I had the picture clutched in my right hand. I unfolded it. The picture was a handsome man sitting on a horse. I gulped and handed it to my grandma. I gulped and handed it to my grandma, who had big tears in her eyes. I could just barely make out the writing on the back, which said, "I love you, Natty. Always have, always will." Well, I'm back now, and I wear the bandana every day, so I won't forget. Sarah and Sybil don't believe my story, but who cares? They are liars and thieves and tellers of the untruth. My diary proves it. Besides, we are going on our third annual back-to-school picnic next week. This year is not going to be in my backyard. We're having a real picnic in a park. Love, Hattie, Magruder.